Today the topic of discussion is SQL Self Join. And let me tell you one thing very clearly, this is the most important and most confusing join you will ever see. Okay, so let's start with SQL Self Join. Self Join. The Self Join says that the SQL Self Join is used to join table to itself. Very important. Self means what? The a table is joining to itself. This means a table is joining to itself. Fine. Previously, for joining, we need two table. In order to join, what we need? We need at least two table. But then what is self join? We are joining a table with itself. With itself. This means what? Let's see how we can join a table with itself. Then we have to see as if the table were two table. This means that you have to create a virtual table. This means as if the table were two tables, temporarily renaming at least one of the table in SQL statement. So what we'll do is that I have a table. Suppose I have a table named student. So what I'll do, I'll make a copy of this student and I'll make it as student one. Then the same student is having a copy as a student one, and then will join these two table. So this kind of joining is known as what? Self join. Okay, fine, because we have to give a name to different table. Let's start. Okay, so syntax is select and whatever columns you want to select, fine, from then table 1. This is table 1, and what is this T1 comma table 1 and this T2? This means there is only one table known as table 1, and we have created an alias means what? A second name of table. Okay, so I'm naming this table 1 as T1, and again I'm naming this table 1 as T2. So finally there are two tables, T1 and T2, and we are applying some condition on it. So this is called self join. This same table T1 and same table T2 are copy of table 1 and having name T1 and T2. So what is this? T1 and T2. This T1 and T2 are alias of table 1. Fine. So these are known as alias of table 1. Fine. Let's see. We have a table known as imp table, and we have created an alias. This means now this imp table is represented by E, having three columns: employee ID, department name, and year of joining. Fine. Then we have another table, imp, same table, and I have created an alias of this F. So now imp has two images, one is E and one is F, and both has the same thing: employee ID, department name, and year of joining. Fine. Okay, so if I talk about table, then employee ID 1 is working for research and he has joined in year 2010. And if I talk about employee ID 2, he is working with defense and he has joined in 2015. And if I talk about 1 again, then one is working in two departments. One is in research and one is in training, but he joined training in 2020. So if I talk about employee ID 1, he is working with two departments. One he is working with 2010, and in another he has joined in 2020. Fine. Okay, so the same table, no need to explain further. Let's move further. Okay, self join. Now self join query. Now the query is this: on a previous table which you have seen, find employee ID and department name of employees who work for more than one department. Now your job is to find name of those employee ID and department name of those employee who are working in more than one department. So in this case we need only one table, and if we want to join, then we must have two table. Just try to understand what I'm trying to tell you. In If I need to find employee ID and department name of those employee who are working in more than one department, then in this case you cannot apply a query. In this case you need to apply a query of join, and that join is called self join. Fine. And why self join? Because only one table is having all the information, that is employee ID, department name, and year of joining, and I want to find the department ID and employee ID of those employees who are working in more than one department. Fine. So let's start. So the query is, how we write the query: select e.eid and e.dname. Now you must be aware what is E. E is the alias of table imp. I want EID of E table. I want D name of E table from what? Imp E comma imp F. You know what is this? We have already explained you. I have already explained you. This is called cross join. When you write table 1 comma table 2, what is this? This is simply a cross join. So what we are doing, we are actually finding employee ID and D name from cross join of these two table. Which two table? Table E and table F. And then what we are doing, we are applying a condition where E dot ID is equal to F dot EID. Why this? Because we want employee ID of those employee who are working in more than one department. Then if suppose I am working in more than one department, my employee ID is 7. Once I was working with accounts, and again I worked with training. So my employee ID will remain same. So this is what I'm saying, that E dot EID is equal to F dot EID, that both tables should have same ID, but department name of both table will be different, because first I was working with account and now I'm working with training. So this is the complete query. This is the complete query of self join. If you have still some confusion, then let's see it further. Here we have two tables, one is imp and another is imp, but we have created the another name called alias. This table name is E. This table, let me rub all these things. This will be a confusing for you now. Okay, fine. So let me name these two table. This table is E and this table is F. Both table are same, but their name are different. One table is E and one table is F. I want to find the name of those. I want to find the employee ID and department name of those employee who are working with more than one department. Okay. So if I can see, I can clearly see that employee ID 1 is working with research also and employee ID 1 is working with training. But you cannot find it like this. You need what? You need self join. So how we do? Let's see the query. First of all, we'll find cross join. First of all, we'll find what? Cross join. Okay. So why cross join? Because to find join of any table, the formula is cross join plus some condition, plus some condition. So our first task is to find cross join. So our first task is to find cross join. So what we'll do, first find the cross join. Okay. So in above query, we are just finding this part. Okay, cross join. The moment we do cross join, I've explained you very clearly in my previous video what is cross join. So if you still don't know, then let me tell you. In cross join, here we have 3 rows. Here we have 3 rows. Then these 3 rows will have combination with each other. So 3 cross 3 will be, there will be 9 rows, and you can clearly see this table has 9 rows. Okay. First, one research 2010 will have combination with all these three. Then one research 2010 is having combination with all these three. Then two defense 2015 will have combination with all the three. Then one training 2020 will have combination with all the three. Fine. Okay, so your first task is done. You have just completed the first task, that you have applied a cross join. You have applied a cross join. Now you will put some conditions. Okay, let's move further. And now I'm putting full condition. Now what I want employee ID. I want department name of what? E table. So this table is E, this table is F. I want employee ID. I want department name of this table, but there is a condition. What condition? Where E dot EID is equal to F dot EID and E dot D name is not equal to F dot D name. So let's start with this. E dot EID, this is equal to this. Yes, this is equal to this. S E dot D name is not equal to this. No, this is equal. So we'll not include this because one condition is true and another is false. Fine. So we start with this. Is EID is equal to EID? No. So first condition is false. Will not include this. Is EID equal to EID? Yes. Is department name of E is not equal to department name of F? Yes, it's not equal. So we will select this row. Finally, we'll select this row. Okay. Okay, then is this EID equal to this EID? No. First condition is false. This condition is false. Okay, is E dot this ID is equal to F dot? Yes, this ID is equal. Is this is not equal? No, they are also equal. So will not include this, will not include this. Again, what we apply, same thing. Is this ID is equal to this ID? No. First condition is false, will not check the second condition. Is this ID equal to this ID? Yes, this ID is equal to this ID. Is this department name is not equal to this? Yes, so we'll select this. Okay, so finally we have selected two rows till now. Okay, and is this ID equal to this ID? No. So finally we'll cross this, will not. Is this ID equal to this ID? Yes. Now we check this department name should not be equal, because it is equal, so we'll discard this. So finally what we have these two rows, row this and row this is qualifying the criteria. And in this row what we want only employee ID of E and department name of E. So what I'll see is that the answer which I'm getting is this. Okay, so one is working with research and employee ID 1 is working with training, and you can clearly see this, in this table. One was working with research also and one was working with training. So finally this is the answer. So what was the query? Find the employee ID, and this was the query, find the employee ID and department name from employees who work for more than one department. So this is the answer. The employee ID is one who is working with more than one department, that is research and training. So this was all theoretical. Okay, so now we'll see the same implementation. Now we'll see the same implementation in Oracle. So here, okay, fine. So here we have table known as imp self. Here we have a table known as imp self. Okay, fine. And they have selected, and there is three columns: employee ID, department name, year of joining. We have seen all these things. Now the query is same. We want employee ID, and if you can see clearly that employee ID 1 is working with research and employee ID 1 is working with training. Let's see, is this there the query working? Fine. So I've already created a query. Let me see if the query is existing. Otherwise I'll write it. That is not a big issue. Okay, yeah. So what was the query? Select e.eid. I want eid. What is e? The alias name of imp table. E.dname. What is e? Alias name of imp table. Fine. From imp self table e, I have that created e table, and again I have created F table. So what am I doing is that I'm cross joining this. So by this line, what am I doing is that I'm cross joining both the table E and F. And after cross join, what we are applying a condition is that where E dot EID is equal to F dot EID. This means ID should be same, but and E dot DName should not be equal to. So this is the symbol of not. So always remember, this is the symbol of not equal to F dot DName. So if I run this and see, you are getting very right. So you are getting the answer. This is the answer. So one employee ID 1 is working with training and employee ID 1 is working with research. So employee ID 1 is working in more than one department. So thank you so much.